Very good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I think it's been a long time. I don't even know when I laid eyes on you last time. I think it was at your house.
Yeah, probably drinking beer on my deck. So.
I was. That's exactly what I was doing. And I think you had a little peanut.
Yeah, she's
which
7.
Probably not a peanut anymore.
Well, she's 7 and full attitude now.
Yeah.
So
you're still loving living up in John?
yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Don't have a commute like you guys do down here.
Freaking Calgary, man. It's getting pretty painful. I think there's 1.5 million people or something like that.
Yeah, I like 25,000 people. That's too many. So
Yeah. Would you ever leave, John?
yeah, we'll see how opportunities go.
Yeah.
As we grow, we'll see where. The more I travel, the more I figure out where home is really just where I'm at. So
Yeah. What about your missus? She's still up there. Isn't she police or something?
no, she retired. She's gonna
Did
become
she?
she's gonna become a teacher.
Oh, man. Good for her.
Yeah, so she's,
What prompted that decision?
the whole catch and release stuff and dealing with all that stuff just got to her. She said, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a teacher.
Good
Help
for
kids, hopefully make better decisions." So.
Oh, man. Good for her. Talk about going right to the source.
Yeah,
Trying to
and
fix
high
the
school.
problem.
She wants to teach high school too. So
Yeah.
yeah. So she's been really active in the school and it's been good. So
Right on. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me. I didn't talk to too much about this. So this started maybe 5 or 6 years ago, just doing these little videos. I always did them with my iPhone and, I had a little support pipelines, but I didn't really advertise it. I'm not, or haven't been at great social media, and I'm just trying to be better about it. Like I started following LinkedIn a lot more in the last year or two, and I just found a lot of pretty positive support. And you're one of the people who, again, knowing you personally and seeing all the stuff, putting yourself out there with Pro Delta and like the cool shots of the helicopters, and I know what you're doing a little bit. But anyway, for here, just tell us about yourself for anyone who's never met you before.
right on. My name's Ryan. I was born in Fort St. John actually. Then my father got Trudeau'd the first one in the 80s. And he told the story before he passed away that overnight it just shut down. I went back to Saskatchewan where he was from, so we moved there. Grew up in a small town of 300 people. Went to school in Moose Jaw and then got hired back up in Fort St. John. Been there since 2000. Never not had work. Well, struggling now this year, but I think everybody is. So.
But it's definitely a worker bee, blue collar town for sure.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to be willing to work, and that's kind of what defines a lot of people up there. And a lot of people stay busy working, so that's why they stay.
Where's your folks now?
My dad's passed, so my mom's up there now too. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
Grandma.
yeah, Gami, yep. So,
Yeah. So tell me the story about the Pro Delta. When did that get created and to what it is today?
Ironically, it started when I was working on a pipeline with Solaris up in Conklin. Saw how they were using machine control, which I still was thinking is totally underutilized in pipeline, and came up with what we call our smart dig technology, where I take old abandoned well sites and take the data and create 3D plumes, and we can program that into the excavator bucket. So it's kind of like digging out just what you need to. And started going with that, and people are afraid of change, and
For sure.
so in that industry, they're starting to get better. But I mean, right now it's 5 to 12 years to get one site closed, and there's 200,000 sites sitting out there. We got a backlog of work, so I just kept innovating to try to get that down, and we're pretty happy. I think by the end of this year we'll be able to get down, or end of 2025. I guess 2024 is here. We'll be able to get it down from what's 5 years to about 30 days. So
Amazing.
it's gonna be a whole new industry the way we're looking at it.
It's funny because, people talk about our industry like it doesn't evolve, especially people are anti-oil and gas. It doesn't change, but I always tell people, no, we are evolving all the time to get better.
Construction is the number one innovation that feeds innovation. It's construction and development. So
For sure. Well, I mean, it's the highest cost related to a lot of these projects, so that's where they need to focus on. So I think it's positive.
and our labor we're getting a labor shortage. I mean, like everybody's struggling when they are getting jobs, getting qualified labor. I mean, maybe not right now, but when Coastal and Trans Mountain are going on, obviously.
Oh man, like you couldn't get bodies. Like, I mean, we talk about a lot lately with some friends how many pipelines we broke out in the past 5 years, and now all of a sudden we've spilled all these people onto the street, and most of them would like to just keep going, but they don't. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, and work's getting more and more complicated too. So it's terrain, and reading about the First Nations rights and the treaty rights, we got to kind of admit we've all benefited from the land, but I think we can do a lot better to fix it. So that's kind of our goal, is why we keep evolving our technologies, is to reduce our footprint. And when we reduce our footprint, it's actually pretty amazing how much money you save. So
Oh, it's wild.
yeah. So.
But it's all about, again, technology can benefit and play into this so much. But how do you get people to buy into it when, as an industry, like, again, I'm an old dog, same as everyone else. It's tough to do it differently,
You got to find those early adopters, the ones that want to do better. I tell that to anybody: if you want to be better and be the guys that are busiest, you got to be the most innovative. And we see the companies that are still busy are the more innovative ones. And you also got to realize new technology isn't perfect. There's going to be some growing curves, there's growing pains. Doesn't matter how much we work on trying to identify it. Until you get the users going into it and breaking it, there's no other way to do it.
For sure. But yeah, you got to get it out there. Are you feel you're having success so far with what you're doing, trying to introduce some of these technologies?
Yes and no. I think one thing, we were a little too early when we were trying, so we slowed back and really focused on the development side. As we're growing that, we're getting more people, better support, because these projects are hard to support too with the technology. So building that support network. But if you want to hear anybody's opinion, give them a new software and they'll tell you exactly why they think it's dumb. They don't know they always say what it should do. So not knowing what it takes to make that happen. So
yeah. Well, I mean, relatively, I think you're still a young guy by the industry standards, so you have a long way to go. So I'm curious to see what's next for you. Just keep working with the technology, or do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, we definitely want to expand our technology and build those case studies up in that story, and really want to see companies that have these traditional family companies that haven't invested a lot in the technology, give them an easy opportunity to get into it and keep those legacies going.
Right on.
And probably move internationally at the rate we're going. So.
Right on. Well, you've been down to the U.S., some trade shows and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I've presented a few trade shows, a few pipeline shows down there. Getting more and more interest in California, actually. So. Really? Yeah.
So funny, the Swears Murphy gang bought a company called WHC there about a year ago, and one thing they've said about that gang down there, there's like a very steep, deep-rooted pipeline and oil and gas culture down there in Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas, which we all know. But yeah, they said it's nice for them to see it up close.
Have you seen the series Landman?
I haven't, but it's on my radar. Everyone said it's very, very entertaining.
It is very entertaining. Yeah. So definitely makes oil and gas look like it's crazy, but we all know it's a lot safer than it is, than anybody makes it out to be. So.
No, I know. So what would you be doing, Ryan, if you weren't doing pipeline and oil and gas stuff?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I've worked since I was 12 or 11 years old, so I don't know what I would be doing if I'm a pretty curious person, so that's what keeps me going. So I'd probably be pissing off whatever employer I was working for, doing something I wasn't supposed to do. So.
Right on. One thing I always like to ask people is there any mentors in your life, professional or personally, that have kind of helped you on your journey to where you are today?
I don't know. I'm pretty fortunate of everybody. I think I know what I know, and I'm just always open into learning. So I've learned a ton from you guys when we were working a lot closer together. I've been pretty fortunate. I've got a really crazy good team, and all I've done is give them opportunities to innovate and bring ideas forward. And I learned tons from those guys. I just say, this is what I'd like to do, and next thing you know, you got 10 different solutions, and they're all troubleshooting which ones. So I've been pretty fortunate. I kind of learned from everybody.
But that's even that in itself, that's like a good attitude for a mentor to have. Like, even though you don't have all the answers and you look to other people for the answers, you do help provide some guidance, I suppose.
Guidance, but when it comes to the technical stuff, I'm the dumbest guy there. And I tell everybody, I'm the dumbest guy here. The only thing that makes me somewhat dumb is I take the risk. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, we have a great team, and they're the ones that make it all happen. All I've ever given them is an opportunity. They've taken it and run with it. Right on. Well, normally I don't get into politics too much, but do you see any change in the political climate with the U.S. shift and potential the shift here in Canada in terms of our industry? I sure hope so. Yeah. I don't know. You look at the numbers, it's pretty hard to put 25% tariffs and them drive their economy down. That's my opinion, but I'm definitely not an economist. So. But, Trump, we've lived through one Trump, and it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
No, I know it wasn't the end times or whatever people suggested it would be.
And remember, he's a businessman, not a politician.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very good at putting business tactics.
Yeah.
But what I do appreciate is, what's the easiest way to make more money? I'm asking you that question.
Oh, me?
Yeah, what's the easiest way to make more money?
Taxes?
No, efficiency.
Oh, yeah, right on.
The more efficient you are, your rates don't have to go up. The more efficient you can do in-house, you'll always make more money. And I think a lot of people forget that.
For sure, but I think a lot of our projects, especially the big ones we just finished, the money's not to be made in efficiency. The money's to be made in inefficiencies.
Yeah.
If you look at kind of the ripple effects in all the businesses and communities and towns and businesses, so on and so forth, and hourly work, like efficiency, that's the incentive isn't there sometimes, I guess.
No, I totally agree. Like time and material contracts, that's what stops innovation. You are paid better to be inefficient. So, I mean, what I really don't appreciate is we never value people's minds, we only ever value their time. We're willing to pay a lot for somebody's time, as we've all seen. There's good jobs in pipeline and good oil and gas. But sometimes the people that are more innovative and more efficient, they get kicked off the job first. So it's kind of a weird industry we do have.
It's a very weird industry. Like, I wonder, with this slowdown and people taking a knock in rates, because I've talked to a lot of different people lately, and I wonder if that was, I mean, that's always been the plan, is beat the rates down when the owners can, but they're going to be flying up again here. I don't want to say next year, but by the end of 25, 26, you're going to start taking off again, I think, anyway.
I mean, change in political spectrum. And
No.
I mean, the other cool things is some of these hydrogen projects, that's just a pipeline with natural gas, right? So there's going to be new linear projects of some sort. Same rules, just different pipe.
Right on. Just trying to think what else I had for you. I had a few questions in my chamber for you. I can't remember what it was. I meant to look up a post you did recently about your Pro Delta stuff, something to do with helicopters. Are you trying to get away from helicopters and do drone technologies, or?
Everything has its spot.
Yeah.
That's the way that I've learned is
Yeah.
when we first got into helicopters, it's, I can map out 1,000 kilometers of pipeline in a few days with a helicopter. Try doing that with a drone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the payload that we care about. So, our tech, beyond visual light, drones come into factors in the next, 10 years. We'll definitely be designing payloads to that. It's what we do with the data is our bigger thing. So,
Right on. Are you optimistic about the year to come?
I always got to be optimistic. If I was pessimistic, I wouldn't be here today. So,
Yeah.
So,
Well, to be an entrepreneur, I think you'd have to be optimistic.
optimistic and stubborn. That's the only things I've got going for me. So,
Right on. Well, genuinely, I appreciate your time as always, and hopefully next time we can do this up in Fort St. John.
sounds good, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, brother.
Talk to you later.